Hey everyone, it's John here. I cover cryptocurrency, specifically Dogecoin news and Dogecoin technical analysis, aka the sticks. And in this video here, I'm gonna cover over the Dogecoin sticks. All right, check out my other video for the news. And today, I'm gonna go over the sticks right now, and let's get to it. All right. So, as always, I forgot to mention that as always, please subscribe. There's over 95% of you guys who don't subscribe, and I really appreciate it. Give me an easy little click that up button right there, an easy like button, so we can spread out the Dogecoin videos out here to people who have not been exposed to Dogecoin, and let's bring them into the community so we can all go to the moon together. All right, so let's do this. Okay. Anyways, so moving on to Dogecoin sticks here. So I'm going to start off with a daily chart here as I always like to do. Um, I did mention for the past few days that it looks like we are still in the bull flag momentum here, as you can see. All right. So as far as I can see, we're still range bound and we're still within the bull flag here. So I'm not too concerned, personally speaking here. After a big move up like this, you want some time to pull back so you can kind of reconcile and have people buy the dips here, so we can kind of go up higher here. Okay, so with that being said, is that we want to see something like this for the most part. And I mentioned in the previous videos that we want to see something like this, where it kind of comes back down, goes up here, tests again, and it goes like here, and it goes back up again. We want to see something like this because this is kind of what you want to call this is kind of what you want to call a typical cup and handle kind of formation here. Obviously, as always, I always say technical analysis is more of an art than a science here. So this is not exact here. And just because I draw this out doesn't mean it'll happen. But based on the way it's looking currently, I don't see why it wouldn't happen. Okay, and I'll explain to you why I think it will happen in the near future. Okay, so first of all, one thing to note here is that we did recently get our stimulus check right here, right? So we will get it by the end of March. So and I've been saying that for a while here we're gonna look for some news, some kind of catalyst in a sense to push us up here, right? In the last week we're seeing all these new catalysts, right? We're seeing Mark Cuban, we're seeing Slim Jim now, we're seeing more luxury hotels, and now the stimulus checks are officially passed by the end of March here. So I suspect by the end of March or somewhere around there, we may start seeing a move up higher to possibly retest the previous highs. Because I'm assuming that when people receive their money, they're gonna want to invest in Dogecoin because I know I am. I mean, and as always, leave me a comment below. Let me know how you're gonna spend your stimulus money, your $1,400. Are you gonna invest in Dogecoin? What are you gonna do? Let me know in the comment below here because I would like to get a better idea of how people will spend their money, right? I mean, some people save it, some people will blow it off at Starbucks. Who knows? But as always, please let me know below just so I can get a better idea. And I really appreciate that. All right. So anyway, so you can see also on the current daily chart here, we're still in bullish territory because the 50 MACD 50 MA is still above the 200 right here, right? And we're still seeing it have an upcycle on a 50 MA. We're not seeing a curl down, so we're seeing a very similar velocity here. But one thing to note is that now you're seeing it from 454 to 463, now it's 4729. And I mentioned in a previous video as well that I suspect when the 50 MA reaches around like 5.2 or 5.3 or 5.4 around there, in the next coming days here, based on a current trajectory, we're seeing about 4.54, 4.63. We're seeing basically like 0.001 every day. So in the next week or two, we could see it maybe possibly reach 5.4 or 5.5. Who knows, right here, right? When that happens there, the 50 MA will now look like a support here, and I suspect we'll kind of bounce off it. Obviously, again, as always, these things here are not in stone here, so you always gotta watch it. And I watch these charts daily, and I give you guys updates of where I believe the trend is going towards, up or down, bear or bull. It's good to know both sides here if you want to make some money here. All right, so that's kind of where I see it going. So we're going to see it happen in the next few days, and just we're going to keep track of it diligently and see where it goes from there. Okay, so we're seeing the volume also kind of drop off here, right? So on March, let's see, on March 7th, we had a big volume, 361. 8 is like 231. 9 is 121. Now the 10th is about 56 million. So you're seeing a drop in volume here. And you see the drop in volume is kind of good because we're pulling back and people aren't selling in mass right here, right? I mean, yeah, they are selling, but not selling to the point where it's going to drop it by a ton with strength here. You know, you're just having people shake the trees, and people are just falling off it, right? Hitting the quick profits or whatever it may be, whatever their situation is for the most part. Okay, so we're also seeing. Let's check out the daily MACD, see where it's going. Okay, okay. So we're seeing the daily MACD reset in bullish territory, which is what we want to see, which is great, right? We're seeing this right here in a bullish quadrant, which is fantastic. But what we're seeing also is that the velocity is very slow here. So it was trending up, and now it's kind of going limp again. So now it's kind of doing a curl down, you know? So that being said, well, the curl down is almost to the point where it almost looks flat. So this tells me that, you know, in the coming days, we're going to start resetting up again or resetting down. I mean, obviously, when I say that to you, like, oh, no, duh, right? Go up or down. But based on the fact that we're seeing all of these catalysts coming out, I'm more inclined to believe that we're gonna move up soon. And this pullback to me is perfectly healthy in a normal market here. You know, when you move 20% for a day, you want to pull back some, right? You don't, I mean, because then you can reconsolidate, right? If you go 20%, one day, the next day another 20%, another day another 20%. I just like it's too much and too fast. So as they say, easy come, easy go here, right? So the more time we have to accumulate here, which is good. Um, okay, now I'm gonna move more to the forward chart here to kind of see what it looks like in more detail here. But it looks like we're seeing a support around like 5.4 or 5.5. For the most part, when it hits around there, it kind of bounces off it. But we'll see in more in a more microscopic view here. So let's check it out on a 4-hour chart. Okay, all right. So we're seeing, right, as you can see on a 4-hour chart here, we're seeing a lot of indecision now, okay? Because from 5.25 to about 5.8 is another range right here, right? And around 5.5, this is kind of like the no man's land. You're kind of middle of both ranges here, and that's kind of why you're seeing all of these sticks right here, where they kind of doing like these little plus signs here. That just means that there's a lot of indecision. You know, when you go up, it sells off. When you go down, it gets bought up real quick. So that tells me that people are looking for deals and quick profits here. So we have day traders as well. You can see day traders day trading, which is great because, as I always say, they're creating liquidity in the market and creating some volatility for us. So as me, as a personal dip buyer here, it creates an opportunity for me to buy dips. I bought yesterday around like 5.5, you know. Um, so I bought it again. So we'll see from there, I guess. We can also see on the 4-hour chart here. I mentioned a few days back, around like March 1st, that we had a bearish cross here where the 200 went above the 50 right here, right? So we're still seeing that, and that's kind of why when we see these breakouts here, they're not necessarily it's not necessarily solidified and keep pushing right away because we're still in a bearish territory here. But I suspect from here we're gonna start moving back up though, and you kind of see that we're starting to reset. If you look closely at the MACD here, I'll zoom in for you guys. You can see that we're trending up again, slowly but surely here, right? You can see from 11 to 10 to 8 here. So I mean the velocity is super slow, but you can see it's starting to trend up slowly but surely. But at the same token, we're also, most important to note here is that we're aligning to reset around the bullish area as well, the bullish quadrant here. But of course, depending on the velocity here, since it's so slow, we can easily break down and go further down below as well into bearish territory here. But we don't want to see that. We want to see something like this. You know, we want to see something like this, where we reset in the bullish territory here. And I suspect in the days, oops, sorry. And I suspect in the days to come, this could be very possible here. I believe so. I mean, we can also break down as well, but given on the news, I see no reason why we would dip below again. I mean, obviously we can always do that, but as always, you gotta wait and see. And for the stimulus checks, it's gonna be about 2 or 3 weeks out. March 31st, today's 11th, that's about what, 20 days. So it's gonna be some time. So in these 20 days here, obviously some people will get their check sooner rather than later before the 31st, but we got to wait and see how it looks. And as always, I always say to you guys, these charts are an evolution. They don't just stay what they are. Just because today is saying this, tomorrow could be completely different. Based on whatever news we have or any kind of big buyers or big sellers are here, right? But you can see also that whenever we have up buys here, You see the wicks always going down. That means that we're seeing people sell off real quick here, right? So there isn't really necessarily any sustained strength here. So that isn't necessarily good, and it's not necessarily bad either because when you see dips, they're getting bought up as well. And that's kind of why I keep on mentioning to you guys and gals here to like these videos so we can spread it out to more people so they can be exposed to Dogecoin, so then they could buy some Dogecoin and hold with us, right? And so you can push it up higher here. You're right. As I always mentioned, anyone watching these videos most likely already has some Dogecoin already, and you're probably just investing some more. But wouldn't it be great if you had some other people also doing the same thing as well? It just makes your buys that much more powerful. It makes my buys that much more powerful. And again, that's what we want to do. We want to spread the Dogecoin community. Okay. All right. So we can see here. So the range bound, as I said, is 525 to about 58, and we're currently in no man's land, aka the middle. So unless I unless I start seeing some movement towards the 50 MA start trending upwards, I don't think we're going to see a breakout again anytime soon. I mean, is it possible? Sure. But you can also see that the 50 MA and 200 MA, the gap is narrowing some. I mean, again, at a very slow trajectory and a very slow velocity, just because of the low volume here. But when you see a bigger volume buys and stuff, we're going to see a bigger change here, okay? So let's go over to the 50-minute chart here and let's see what's going on. Alrighty then. Okay, so as you can see, it's pretty boring here. You can see on a 50-minute chart as well, the 200 MA is crossed over to 50 MA, which really means a depth cross right here, right? So we're kind of seeing the depth cross transition into different time frames, and it's kind of aligning now, right? On a daily, you have a golden cross, which is still bullish on a daily here for sure, because all the massive volume in the past is pushed up so fast. But we're seeing a 4-hour chart, we're seeing a bearish cross, but it's kind of shrinking. On a 15-minute chart here, we also have a bearish cross as well, and it's staying very similar on the pattern here in terms of the velocity and trajectory here. So I suspect that we're going to finish red today, just based on this here. I mean, it could change. Obviously, we have like what, another like until 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's like what, another like, I don't know, 8 hours or something. So in that time, we could see some bigger buys and it could push us up, and we could possibly cross and do a bullish cross. But I suspect we're not, because based on the current pattern here. As you can see, the 200 MA is being resistant at the current time here. So this is a very easy play for a bear here. So whenever you see something hit the 200 MA, put a quick short, right? Put a quick short in and sell at the first dip. Don't hold it. Don't be greedy, because you hold it, be greedy, you may not get your profits right there, right? So it's a pretty easy scalp buy for the most part, and we are kind of range bound. But in the case here, the trend is currently the current trend on a short term trend on a short term time frame is bearish here. So with that being said, I wouldn't do many long trades today because it's kind of like going against the wind. Have you rode a bike and the winds are hitting you in the face and you're riding towards it? It just headwinds, right? You want to go with the wind, not against the wind here. And today, I just say it, but it's in the bear's favor today. So we want to go with the wins here if you're day trading. And as always, if you find this video helpful, give me a like, subscribe. It takes you a quick click. It helps me out tremendously, and it helps out the community tremendously, because we want to spread these videos out. We want to get more Dogecoin buyers in here. And it's Hey John, and I will catch you on the next one.